Drums shook the ground and pushed sound into every chest. Feet moved without order. Hands clapped hard. Joy rose fast and loud. Many smiled and shouted, pulled by the beat and the promise of celebration. Cheers rolled like waves. Voices crossed each other. No one stopped to ask why the moment felt heavy. No one wanted to slow the joy. Then a whisper slipped through the noise. She was promised to another man. The words moved faster than the drums. Heads turned. Smiles thinned. Eyes searched faces. Some mouths closed tight. Recognition struck. Murmurs sharpened. Warm joy cooled into shock. A few stepped back as if danger had shown its face. Older ones stopped clapping. Looks passed between them, quick and fearful. No words followed. Silence said enough. Hands tightened on spear shafts. Leather creaked. Metal rang softly. Guards leaned forward, listening harder than before. The groom stepped ahead with firm steps. Shoulders stayed high. The chin lifted. No doubt showed. No fear, answered the crowd. The bride lowered her eyes. Hands stayed still. Her face held calm, but breath came short. Strength held the body while worry pressed inside. A name moved through the people like smoke. Baco. It passed from mouth to mouth. Each time it sounded heavier, anger rose. Voices cut through the air. Where's the friend who was wronged? Why is he not here? What right was taken? Noise grew sharp. The drums slowed, then paused. As if listening, an elder lifted one hand. Rings flashed. The crowd leaned in. This union will wake what should sleep. The warning hung in the air. Some nodded. Others stepped back. A laugh broke the tension. The groom waved once, strong and sure. Doubt was brushed aside like dust. Old fears cannot rule today. Sacred words followed. Hands joined. Promises were spoken without pause. The act was sealed before silence could return. Drums struck again, louder than before, faster, harder. Sounds swallowed doubt. Joy was pushed back into the people. The crowd answered. Cheers returned, forced but loud. Bodies moved again. Smiles were raised like masks. Yet fear walked among them. It brushed shoulders. It sat behind eyes. Some watched instead of dancing. Some listened instead of singing. Faces smiled wide. Teeth showed. But eyes stayed sharp. No one fully turned away. Night came slowly. Songs thinned. Laughter faded. Feet slowed. Fires dimmed. One by one, voices fell quiet. The last drumbeat echoed and died. Darkness settled. Movement stilled. Breath softened. Guards paced slower paths. Celebration slipped into memory. Then footsteps pressed into the earth. Slow, steady, sure. They came from the dark. Not hurried. Not hidden. The past had returned. Two boys ran side by side, feet striking earth in the same rhythm. Laughter burst out as they raced, neither willing to fall behind. Each push forward made the bond tighter. Wooden spears clashed. Dust rose. Stay close. I will. The words came fast, matched by fast steps and sharp moves. Hunts followed. Eyes stayed alert. Hands signaled without sound. One moved left, the other right. Trust guided every step. Speed saved them more than once. Danger came without warning. A wild force leaped from hiding. One boy froze. The other pulled hard, dragging him away. A strike missed by a breath. Blood touched the ground. Pain burned, but life held. A hand pressed the wound. I have you, I know. From that moment, they were more than friends. Time moved on. Shoulders grew broad. Steps grew firm. The kingdom called them grown men. Praise followed them wherever they walked. A caravan arrived with noise and color. Among it stood a young woman with a strong voice. She spoke once. People stopped. She spoke again. Heads turned, eyes met hers and did not turn away. A smile came without thought. Something began. Meetings followed near warm fires. Words stayed low. Laughter stayed soft. No one must know, I understand. Paths cleared. Guards looked away. Time was given. You are my brother. I trust you. Then the drums changed. The beat slowed. Power shifted. Elders spoke often. Voices weighed, strength and future. One voice rose firm. The throne needs order. Eyes turned. Choices formed. The young woman's name was not spoken, yet everyone knew. A decision landed heavy. No love shaped it. Only need. The truth reached one pair of ears. No shout followed. No fight rose. Silence answered all. Before dawn, feet walked away. No one stopped them. No farewell was spoken. Dust followed each step. Promises stayed behind, lying where they fell. Morning comes. Dead cattle lie at the palace gate. The herd is still. Hooves stiff. Silence heavier than fear. Eyes widen, hands tremble. No knife marks, the herdsmen whisper. Fear curls through their voices. They look at one another, unsure what hunts the land. Guards are found asleep. Spears lean. Drums still beat, but the rhythm is hollow. commanders shout, who closed their eyes. The sound slices the morning air. Confusion ripples through the palace walls. Night falls again, and screams pierce the quiet. The queen cries out. Her voice cracks, echoing through corridors. Servants scatter, running, whispering. The palace is not safe. Voices rise in the market. Whispers turn to shouts. Baco has returned. Fear and hope collide. The name travels faster than the wind, stirring hearts and tightening fists. A masked figure moves near the old forest shrine. Silent steps, deliberate and slow. Children point, crying out, "We saw him! We saw him!" Their voices tremble yet demand attention. A marked leaf waits at the door. Words inked sharp. The past is not dead. Eyes read. Pulse rises. Understanding spreads like fire through dry grass. The staff strikes the ground. Guards rush forward, their armor clinking. Search every path. The command cuts through murmurs. Every corner, every shadow must answer. Elders pour libation. Hands steady, voices grave. A stolen marriage brings dark days. The words linger, heavy as iron. Broken trust echoes across generations. A rival chief rises, sharp eyes glinting. A weak king brings chaos, he declares. Words sharpen like knives. Murmurs swell into whispers of war. The queen steps forward. Fear and resolve meet in her gaze. "You knew?" she says, demanding truth without pause. The answer comes cold and direct. "I chose power." Silence holds for a heartbeat. Breath catches across the crowd. The masked figure steps into the light. Gasps rise. Recognition spreads like wildfire. Outcasts gather behind him, shadows thick. Silent strength surrounding their leader. "I want justice, not your crown." The voice cuts through the air. Every heart shifts. War hangs on the next heartbeat. The crowd moves, leaning, listening, trembling. The kingdom holds its breath. The past is no longer quiet. It has returned. Choices will be tested. Loyalties will break. The land waits for the first move. Baco steps forward. His shoulders are straight, his eyes sharp. He calls for the council. "Let the elders hear me." His voice carries, echoing through the gathered crowd. Words cut like arrows. Attention turns. Whispers spread. The kingdom leans in. A voice rises, strong and unyielding. "This is treason." Guards step closer, hands on shields. Tension crackles in the air. The ground feels smaller. Voices clash. Commands and denials tumble together like stones in a river dot. Eyes watch from the edges. She watches, heart pulled in two directions. The past and present collide. Loyalty and love tangle in the space between. Every word weighs heavier than before. Soldiers murmur among themselves. Fingers tighten around hilts. Lines form. One steps forward for the crown, the other for justice. Whispers grow. Choices split the ranks. Eyes measure each other, searching for courage. The rival chief smiles, quiet and clever. Messengers slip into shadows, carrying hidden words. "Push them to fight," he orders without a sound, without eyes to see him. The kingdom feels it before anyone speaks. She follows the trail of deceit. Every mark, every false claim, every hidden message points to a lie. Her mind sharpens. The web unfolds. The kingdom is being played. Steel flashes. Sparks rise. Guards lunge as she slips past. Body low, heart pounding. Death waits a breath away. She moves fast, fearless, driven. Proof reaches the ruler's hands. Silence spreads like a tide. Trust fractures, cracks opening wide across old friendships. Eyes once certain, now shift, unsure. Loyalties break. New alliances form in the space left behind. Drums beat again. The rhythm changes faster, harder, louder. The kingdom listens, responding. Fathers take spears. Mothers gather children close. Every heartbeat matches the drum's warning. The wind shifts. Every path trembles with tension. War waits at the door, patient, watching. Decisions hang heavy, ready to strike. The kingdom holds its breath. Drums pound the ground. Every heartbeat of the kingdom answers. The call spreads, sharp and insistent. People gather, moving with purpose. Dust rises under thousands of feet. Crowds press close, bodies shifting with anticipation. Every eye turns toward the center. Whispers rise, then fall silent as the weight of what is to come presses down. Judgment waits, and the kingdom leans forward to hear. A figure steps forward. Steps are steady, slow, deliberate. Voices quiet instantly. Silence stretches, heavy as iron. Breath halts. Every ear strains for what will be spoken. "Hear me today," the voice rings out. It cuts through the quiet, commanding and clear. All attention rests on the words, waiting for truth to spill. The broken friendship is named. Every bond once thought unshakable is called into the open. Gasps rise like sudden wind. Faces pale. Fingers grip cloth and staff alike. The betrayal is no longer hidden. Fingers point toward the rival chief. Lies and falsehoods are named aloud. Accusations that hung in shadow now step into the light. Murmurs ripple among elders. Words of custom and law are whispered, warning that sacred rules have been broken. A shout splits the murmurs. Steel flashes as a blade is drawn. Chaos erupts. Dust clouds rise, men clash, and shouts and cries fill the air. Swords meet shields, feet pound earth. Loyalties are tested amid the turmoil. A voice rises sharp and cutting. Enough. All other sounds pause, hearts stopping for a beat. Weapons lower. The crowd leans forward, waiting. Eyes follow each motion. Silence hangs like a held breath. The figure of the prince steps forward, shoulders heavy, head bowed. Words spill, simple and stark. I chose power over honor. The confession lands unflinching, reverberating across the gathered kingdom. The rival chief struggles. Guards move fast, seizing arms and legs. Metal clangs. Movement stops. Fury is contained. The one who was wronged raises a hand. No revenge follows. No fury is unleashed. The gesture echoes across the ground, settling hearts, stilling anger. Silence spreads. It stretches over the kingdom like calm after a storm. Mercy has spoken. The people feel it in every bone. The drums quiet. The dust settles. Truth has won the day. The old staff of rule rests on the ground. Hands release it. Eyes watch. A voice rises. Calm, but carrying weight. Let Kalu lead. The declaration rolls across the kingdom, quieting whispers. Crowns shift. Power passes without fanfare. He steps forward, shoulders straight, eyes meeting every gaze. Silence greets him. Words hang heavy in the air. Power has a price, he speaks aloud. The kingdom listens. The truth of leadership is no secret. Every choice bears weight. Land and titles return to the one wronged. Hands stretch outward, receiving what was lost. Justice flows like water, filling spaces left empty. Faces watch, some in awe, some in relief. Balance returns, steady and firm. A voice rises, measured and clear. I will not be queen. The words carry across the room, firm and final. Authority bows to choice. Respect is shown in the quiet nod. Requests are granted without argument. She walks away. Steps are deliberate, echoing in the hush. Women lower their heads as she passes. Every eye follows, every heart notes courage. Dawn greets her departure. Freedom is claimed, simple and unbroken. The one who once sought vengeance is named guardian of the borderlands. Spears rest at his side, responsibility embraced. Drums beat softly, slow and steady, marking a new beginning. The kingdom breathes in rhythm, with them fields open, roads clear. Trade flows freely. Life stirs with cautious hope. Spears set down across the kingdom speak of peace held, no longer threatened. Voices rise from every corner. Stories of that day are told again and again. Truth, justice, and mercy echo across generations. The people remember, the drums remember, the land remembers, the dust settles. Voices quiet. Eyes look to one another, heavy with what has passed. A voice rises, steady and old. Betrayal leaves, scars no time can heal. The words echo, settling into hearts. Elders nod, their faces lined with memory. Love taken by force brings ruin, they say, and the crowd listens, silent, knowing the weight of truth. Fathers lean close, murmuring, power without respect will fall. Mothers' voices follow, soft but firm. Trust breaks before kingdoms do. The people agree, a murmur spreading like wind across the land. Revenge brings no peace, only cycles of sorrow. The elders lift their hands, declaring aloud, truth is the only road to justice. The words carry far, through alleys and villages, through hearts young and old. Drums fade slowly, one beat at a time, leaving space for reflection. Yet the lesson remains sharper than any sword, deeper than any wound. Children gather close, wide-eyed and quiet. The story passes from lips to lips, from hand to hand, and so it becomes a warning, a song of memory, a mark upon the kingdom. Truth, mercy, and justice are remembered long after the fighting ends. The tale is alive, carried forward by those who listen, those who teach, those who never forget.